everyone, welcome back to my channel. Just sitting down to plan out my week, and I've got my inserts ready. These are my Felicity Jane inserts, and I'm just sort of walking you through here a couple of my recent weeks. Some are very highly decorated, and others were pretty much function only, getting ready for the holidays here. Um, but now that I've ended the month, I have done my monthly for January to kick off the new year, and I am ready to start a new week. So here's where this fits in. When you get the pre-printed Felicity Jane inserts, they start with this pretty polka dot, and then you jump right into your next month. So I have these old Scraptastic Club stickers, and they're obviously kind of Halloweenish with the Frankenstein and stuff, but I love the colors, and we have two kittens now, so I've got those kitties on there, and I thought maybe I'd use those. Pulled a bunch of other stickers that kind of match, and pulled out my iPad with my iCal calendar for reference so that I'm ready to dive in. First thing I did was find a washi strip. And these are Jasmine Jones. This is from Studio Calico, and I just liked this really sheer, pretty aqua color, and it matched those stickers that I intended to use. So I just ran those right down the center, and I'm gonna trim off the excess. And then I'm such a hoarder of supplies that I end up saving those little strips. You never know, you might use those somewhere else. So I just stick them right back on that backing paper that they came on. So that gives me just a little, kind of foundation of color to start the week. The kids are still on break here, so I have these orange stickers. I really think these were from like a Target dollar spot, but they say winter break, and they go with the orange of those stickers off to the left. And I just had to trim them a little bit to fit inside my columns because they aren't really designed for these sizes. And since I am kicking off January, I'm looking for, and it happens to start on a Monday, which is really nice. I wish all the months were nice and clean like that. But I'm looking for something to just mark off, the Happy New Year, the 1st of January. So I pull out those little bunting flags and then some alphas. These happen to be from Tailored Expressions, and I love the fun, whimsical font that they have. So I just decided I'm going to spell out Happy New Year, and I'm going to hunt through my ink swatches for just the right color of pink. And I think I land on a pink hybrid ink from Simon Says Stamp, this cotton candy color. So I'm going to pull that out and just sort of prime the stamps on the back of my hand, which I always do. And then I have a little scratch paper there across the middle. I think you can see that separate piece of paper, but I always sort of give them a little test on the scratch paper, get the happy written out. And then for New Year, I wanted that to fit in the column also. So I chose a skinnier font, and these are alpha stamps from Studio L2E. And I stamped out New Year on the scratch paper first to just sort of make sure that it would fit all the way across. And then I go ahead and stamp it all the way across in my actual planner. So now I've got a cute little Happy New Year with some gray and some pink that all match those stickers. And I want to do something fun, jazz it up. And I remember that I have this kind of popping champagne bottle. I also have a hand holding a champagne glass, but I think I decided to go just with the champagne bottle here. And I'm figuring out where I'm going to place that. And I grabbed that same gray ink. This is a VersaFine. Much like the Onyx Black, it's a super crisp image, but this one's smoky gray, and so it's just not quite as dark. And I liked this color with these nice soft stickers. So now I have recently gotten these Faber-Castell Pitt pens. They're and everybody has those big brush markers, or a lot of other artists do. And I happen to be at a place where these were on sale. They're not the big version, but they are a brush tip, and they're these beautiful colors of India ink. And what I liked about them, obviously I love these colors, but I like that they're a brush tip because you could do lettering with them, and they also don't bleed through. I think that has to do with the nature of India ink, but they just don't soak through to the back. So you can color in an image with nice vibrant color like that and not have it bleed through. So here's where I'm going to use those little kitties. I grabbed the pink and the like turquoise and one of my trackers. And so this is just where I can mark off when we've cleaned out the kitty litter boxes. And obviously, since Monday is New Year's Day, we have zero going on that day. So I didn't mind putting sort of a weekly tracker on that day because I know I don't have much else going. And then a separate Scraptastic kit from last year that I had some leftover stickers from had this cute little snowman, and he was gray in the background, which matched my gray ink. And then some of those same colors, sort of that, sort of aqua color and pinks, and it just sort of felt like it went okay, even though it was not from the same set or even the same release month. But I just thought he was cute down there, and it's chilly, or it was chilly. I'm getting around to doing this voiceover long after the fact. I think it's February 1st, not January 1st, but hey, better late than never, right? And then these little stickers that are just sort of the rectangle with a little pokey arrow coming out the side. I made those. I have been having so much fun playing around with my silhouette. And since I am just I love functional shapes, I have tried all different kinds of shapes and I'm just having fun playing around with them. So this is one that I just made a whole bunch of colors and I pop them into my planner whenever I need something like that. Then that's another little skinny event box down there on the bottom. I can't remember if I made that one or if that came from a Planner Kate. I don't know what that is. And then I do grab another Scraptastic, like a little binder clip sticker for Wednesday to indicate that that's the day the kids go back to school. And is it bad to say that I'm really excited about that? Or I was at the time. My two older kids that are in public school, they went back on Wednesday, but my little one who's still in preschool, she goes back Thursday. So I'm giving her her own separate little event here. And this is an adorable, pudgy little pencil from that set you can see over on the left. It's a clearly planned set, and I believe it's called School Days or Back to School. I'll have to look it up and link it below, but I think it's School Day. And so I colored in that little pencil, and then I remembered that I still wanted to put that little like banner or bunting flag set over on the left by the Happy New Year just to kind of add a little more festivity. So I jumped back to Monday, and now I'm regrouping on Thursday again. So on Thursday, just to balance out that big block with the snowman that I have on the left, I threw another sticker down that had just some cute pink hearts just because I had, this is a light week. We're just coming back from break, just getting our act back together with school. There's not a ton on the schedule, so I've got time or blank spaces of time that I can put some color in. And so I did that Thursday, and then I did have to squeeze one more little event in there Thursday morning, which was my tennis match. So now I'm flipping through my stuff here, trying to find a cute little sticker for a birthday on Friday. And Scraptastic has these tiny little gift boxes. And again, these are all old. I'm trying to use stuff out of my stash. So I'm just flipping through old sets from last year. And I really try to get, like every last little bit of life out of all of these sets. And then to mix it up, I wanted to stamp a little event box. And I did that with an older Studio Calico stamp. I honestly am not sure if that's still available. I will have to kind of hunt that down, and I'll link it below if it is. And then these three little arrows come from an awesome set from Tailored Expressions. You can see it. It's upside down on the left side of the screen there. That's it. And it's a group of little arrows that comes as 4, but I just masked off the bottom one. And now I'm just coloring them in with those same Faber-Castell pens. So I kept that same little cluster of pens out the whole time, and anytime I needed to add a little pop of color or color in a stamped image, I would reach for them, and then I knew everything was going to be perfectly matched, which I loved. So from that same School Days set where I grabbed that pudgy pencil on Thursday, they have this cute stack of books, and my daughter has a read-in, like a literature lock-in, they call it at school. And it's this cute little event on Friday night, and I thought how perfect to put this stack of books down there. So I'm just using all these pretty colors down there to create that little stack, and I like that it is kind of creating a visual triangle. I've got, um, I've got some colored in element over on the left with that popping champagne, and I've got the upper right colored in with that pencil and those arrows. We had a little kitty sighting there for a moment. So anyway, I'm just liking how those three colored elements draw your eye around the page. So I'm also doing the same thing, repeating this same alpha and ink color down in the corner where I've stamped 4th grade, and that ties in with that happy up in the upper left. And now I'm grabbing one of my Tombow Furunosuke, I'm not going to say that right, pens, the sign pens that have a nice brush tip, and I find that I do better with one of the tips. I never can remember whether it's the harder tip or the softer tip, but I thought I was going to use that. It was feeling a little too stark and dark for me, so I'm playing with some of those. Again, I mentioned that these Faber-Castell pens have a really cool flexible brush style tip, so I decided to use a softer color because that black was just feeling a little too intense because this is such a nice soft page. So I just chose that kind of mustardy color, and I wrote the words read in down there. So now I've got that cool element that says 4th grade read in. It forms a little cluster. And I grabbed another one of those little gift boxes. We've got 2 birthdays in a row, Friday and Saturday. So I jotted that in up on Saturday, and then another little mini event box for an event that we have on Sunday. And I love these tiny little boxes from the Reset Girl, just the squares. And I wanted to put another little drop of gray in, so I added that in for Saturday. So here's where I decided to test out these Pitt pens to see if they would work for stamping. And they give a pretty faint impression, plus these are pretty light colors to begin with, so maybe darker colors would have worked better. I tried to do this blue, and it just was so faint you almost couldn't even see the numbers for my dates across the top. So I think there's a section here where my camera cut out, but I did them all the way across, and then I actually ended up going back over it with like a pool colored ink from Stampin' Up. They just weren't showing up enough. So now I am moving on to my title. I just want to put January across the top, and I wanted to do something kind of fun and different. And I had been having fun coloring in all those images with the Pitt pens. So I found this outline alphabet from Lawn Fawn that I've had in my stash. I actually use it more for card making and scrapbooking. But those are really actually a good size for the top of my A5 pages. So I'm just spelling out the word January here in that same VersaFine gray ink. And I'm sure most of you already do this, but a little tip is if you want something to kind of be either justified over to the right or over to the left, just start wherever you want your word to end and work backwards. So I wanted my word to be closer to the center of the page. I didn't want it centered. I wanted it like on the binding, on where the rings are. So I started with my Y and worked my way backwards, and that assures me that that I get nice spacing all the way through without having to guess like where I should start that January. So here's where I have my fun, and I go through and color these in. And I started out just kind of coloring them in just solid, and it's super easy. These brush tips are nice and thin. They get into those letters easy. But then I decided, I'm going to do some stripes and some polka dots and some other fun stuff. And I really love how this title turned out. And I put this page up on my Instagram account, and I got a ton of feedback. People just saying, I love those letters, and I love how they turned out. It was so fun and cheerful, and just a cute different way to mark off my titles. So I'll let you guys just kind of watch this for a minute. It doesn't take too long. I'm just doing, like I said, I did diagonal stripes in the mint green on the end, and then I did some little polka dots, and now I'm doing like wider vertical stripes on the A with that mustardy color. And I can't remember what I do for the other two. And then I'll have close-up pictures at the end that really show, like a still photo that show how this looks when it's all done and in some better lighting. And so here I am finishing it off with, I think, some more stripes where I do multicolored big like wide stripes. And it was just super fun playing with these Pitt pens and knowing that it's not going to bleed over to the other side of the page. I really think that's such a nice quality about these. So I love how that turned out. It just seemed so fun. It was like little candy up there at the top. Super cute. And again, here I was on a roll with these Pitt pens, so I thought I could add some color down in the lower left with these as well. So I just lined my pages up and used a straight edge, and I'm literally just running the brush tip along this straight edge. It does not have to be perfect, but I just created a series of stripes, and it almost gives the effect of a washi down there where it's just a little pop of color, and it sort of ties everything together and like frames out that side of the page. And I just love it. I love what it did down there in the corner. And again, you'll see this even better in my still shots at the end. But doesn't that look cute down there? I love what that did for the page. Just another touch up in that upper right, I did want to put 2018. I almost never put the year, but when you're switching over into January, I'm that person that is still writing their checks out to 2017 in like March. So it takes me a long time to get the new year into my brain. So I did put 2018 up here just to, you know, visually help me remember, okay, we've flipped the calendar over. We are in the new year. So when I'm working in my A5, I do like to give myself some room for to-do lists. In my personal page on the weekly, I don't do that, or my personal size. But in the A5 size, I do like to put my to-do lists. So the nice thing is I had some pockets of space, and I just grabbed my List It lines set that I use all the time from Studio L2E, and one of those nice pale inks, that cotton candy ink. And I'm just dropping in to-do lists Tuesday through Friday. Just, you know, as I'm getting back into the swing with the kids, it'll be a good spot to mark down my chores and errands and things for the day. So I kept that really simple and light, and it just sort of fits in between and doesn't distract from all the rest of my events. So now all I need to do is just sort of repunch my washi since I covered up the holes in my inserts, and go ahead and pop them back into my Filofax. I love this nude Filofax. It's super simple, and it allows me to use all kinds of different colors and palettes within my planner, and it always is the perfect backdrop. So thank you for planning with me today. Here's a look at my finished page. As I said, I'll have some still photos, and I'm going to try to kind of give you a little close-up here, although my lighting is not so great when I do this. But you can see my cute images that I colored, and all those fun Pitt pens. There's the lighting is better. So thanks again for joining me. I always appreciate you stopping by. Give me a like if you like these process videos, and I will try to keep them coming. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day.